about having such two strong delegations in the same city at the same time, and the Chief of Staff clearly was concerned that we would take all the hotels and clog the roads, and I was unsure that it was going to happen, but the President came onto the phone to me and he said, "Jeff, I'm really not sure we can do this." But I said to the President, "Yes, we can." And we did. So today marks a significant milestone for graduates. I like to think that your degree is not to be perceived as an automatic passport to success, but it is a rite of passage. It brings with it now significant opportunities for you to make your mark in the outside world. You have strong associations with business and commerce. Opportunities will come to you. I hope you will grasp those, take the risks, and advance your careers, even if it involves further study, which I hope it will, because the prospects for graduates with those extra skills, particularly in this thriving economy, are enormous, and you must grasp them. I do hope that you have made lasting friends when you're here, not just amongst fellow students, but with faculty staff as well. And those friendships, I also think, will help to serve you well for the rest of your working lives. I'd just like to tell you a little bit about some of the achievements of the University of Bradford. And by association, they are your achievements as well, because what is striking about your 5-year vision is that so much of it is common with our own vision for the university back in the UK. And now, even despite some significant financial challenges, which some of you would have heard about in the press that have faced our particular government, we in the university sector have tried to move steadily forward, delivering the growth and the income targets that we set ourselves in our own 5-year plan. And we think we've made significant progress on some of the distinctive characteristics that we think sets us apart and you apart in the higher education market. First of all, as Sarah has mentioned, we have set out to be amongst one of the world's best eco-versities, a university that embeds sustainable development in all aspects of its work. This isn't just about buildings, although our buildings are built to very high carbon standards. But it's also about embedding the concepts of sustainable development into the curriculum. And this is a feature of curriculum design that we share with you. Every student should understand those concepts of the valuable resources that are in our care, and we need to preserve them and use them to best advantage. We also promote sustainable lifestyles. We think every student should understand the concept of well-being, should be fit, they should eat well, they should enjoy good lifestyles, and good lifestyles bring with it good health and long life. And for our efforts, we have been rewarded in league table terms back in the UK, where we are now top of the Green League table in the UK, and we have now a partnership relationship with Harvard University, who also has a first place position in America. So that's a very strong distinctive feature that we think we're doing well at, and we have pledged to do even better going forward. Our second badge of distinction is to celebrate the concept of a multicultural campus. And back in the UK, we've got over 100 nations studying on our campus, and 60 languages are spoken. And if you count the 6,000 or 7,000 students like yourselves who are studying University of Bradford degrees overseas, then those countries and those languages are even greater. And what we set out to do is to celebrate that diversity and confront some of the inequalities that are associated with it. And we have now embedded a cultural understanding programme into how we develop our own faculty, so that it is a celebration and not perceived to be a problem. Our third distinctive feature, which we share with you, and we heard a lot about yesterday, is that we want to give our students some work experience and help them get placements in the world of work. So we work strongly with employers, and we have a programme called Employer Engagement. And you do something very similar here, and we're going to learn something from your managers that have those roles so that we can maximise our graduate chances in the employment market. We continue to sit in the top 10 in the universities for this particular achievement. And that is extremely important to us, because I think in the challenging times ahead of us, graduates are very much reassured if they think there is a job at the end of their studies. The World Bank recently described graduates like yourselves as the fuel of a knowledge economy, and that your role in the world of work is going to be pivotal to economy's success. The most valuable graduates are those that can identify problems, create solutions, implement them, evaluate the outcomes, and disseminate their findings. And those skills are what Lord Leach in the UK, when he authored the Treasury Report some 4 years ago, said are the important influencing skills that graduates need to use in their working lives. What he was trying to say was it's not enough to just know your subject. What you have to be good at is applying your subject, take it out into the world of work and make it work for them. And that is what we set out to do, and that is why our university has a strapline called Making Knowledge Work. I think it's the best strapline in the whole of the sector. It has such power behind its words. So the application of knowledge, that's what we're good at, that's what you're going to be good at, and I know that will enable you to thrive in the global marketplace that India is now set so strongly in. Now, as it's been said, as I approach my own retirement, I allow myself the luxury of being a bit of a stargazer and looking forward to see, well, what are universities going to be like in the future? And what are students going to be like? How will they behave? Will it be different? And I think it will. When I went to university, in the UK, for example, only 1 person in 12 went to university. And now in the UK, nearly 43–44% go to university. So it's moved dramatically from being a very small and somewhat elite market into becoming a much more wider, engaged market, where everybody, or more people, have opportunities for a degree experience. And it used to be described that you went up to university and you read for a degree and you spent your time in the libraries and you bought a lot of books and you took a lot of exams. But I don't think it's going to be like that in the future. I think it's likely to be different. Certainly we are seeing more students that live at home and go to their local universities, and you have that feature in India. I think they actually will spend less time in lectures and less time actually reading books, and I think they will use more internet sources for their learning, and I think they will use faculty differently. I think they will use faculty not to impart the knowledge in the first instance, but to impart the understanding of the knowledge, and the tutorial will be the forum where that dialogue takes place. It's still contact time, it's still very much part of an enriching student experience, but it's different, and it's certainly different to what I had. And the reason for this is because students and their families are discerning consumers in a market where they have a choice. And they will look at quality, and they will look at price, and they will look at reputation. And the student voice has become the most powerful voice of the quality of higher education globally. No more so for us in the UK, where the National Student Survey is so important for us to determine whether or not we are perceived to be a good university or an average university. So it's a very different place, a very different time, and we're planning to like you, to be able to respond to those new behaviours that will dominate the learning environments. Some of the pedagogic leaders of the world use the word digital native for all those that were born after 1983. And obviously that's the student body, but it's increasingly becoming faculty as well. Now, I'm not a digital native. My children are. I'm what they call a digital migrant. I've been dragged into this world of technology from my books and my papers and my pen. But when faculty and students are all digital natives, I think the world will look different. And digital worlds know no boundaries. And higher education is clearly bound to become a transnational global phenomenon. And India must be said to be one of the strongest nations positioning themselves for the challenges of the future. So finally, back to the UK and our academic schools, and particularly the School of Management, where the new Dean, Sarah Dixon, has already addressed you, and she is facing some of the challenges for the school and the university as we compete for international students, for collaborative partners, and for good home students. And I'd also like to just add my word about Arthur Francis, who I saw his caricature in your boardroom today, and I believe I will join the caricature list. But he has been not only a good servant to Bradford, but he was a good servant to IILM. And he retired in September, and I just wanted to make my personal tribute note of his importance here in his stewardship of collaborative programs here in Delhi, which have set your course so strongly as you head towards your own degree awarding powers and your university status. So my final words are for the graduates. My advice to you, and you've heard some of this before, is always to aim high. Take calculated risks. Use your talents, but be good team players. Your country and your economy is full of opportunities, particularly for the innovators, and you describe yourself as innovators. Please use those skills to their best advantage. And I wish you all health, happiness and prosperity in your future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do I have your permission to declare the ceremony closed? The ceremony is